Thela watched the human carefully analyzing her reactions. Most specimens would be paralyzed with fear by now, but this one showed remarkable composure. Perhaps the Queen was right about her uniqueness. The alien scientists prepared their equipment. While Amber made her decision, the machines hummed with strange energy. Their purpose mysterious, but somehow Amber sensed they meant her. No harm. Amber took a deep breath and stepped forward. I will help you, but I want to know everything about your people, your world, and why my DNA matters so much to you. Relief washed over the Queen's face, her crystal crown glowing brighter with emotion. Thank you, Amber. Your compassion confirms what I sensed in you. Thela remained skeptical. Humans are cunning. They often hide their true intentions. We should proceed with caution. The Queen silenced Thela with a gentle gesture. Human Amber, from this moment you are under my personal protection. The procedure began with Amber lying on a floating platform while gentle blue light scanned her body. The aliens worked efficiently, their movements precise and coordinated. During the procedure, Amber learned more about the Lithurians. Their homeworld orbited a distant star. They were an ancient species with technology, thousands of years beyond human capability. But their reproductive systems had mysteriously begun to fail centuries ago. Each generation, fewer children were born until now, when no new Lithurians had been born. For nearly 50 years, they faced slow extinction. Amber felt a connection growing between herself and Queen Zalia. Something beyond words, a sense of understanding that transcended their different origins. After the procedure was complete, Amber was given quarters aboard the ship. Luxurious, by human standards, with views of Earth below through what appeared to be living glass walls. Days passed, as the alien scientists worked with Amber's genetic material. Each day the Queen visited, spending hours talking with Amber, learning about human customs, emotions, and experiences. Thela continued to watch the growing bond between her Queen and the human. With concern, such attachment to a lesser species was unprecedented. The other council members shared her worries. When the breakthrough finally came, it was Amber who helped make the connection. Her nursing knowledge, combined with what she had learned about Lithurian biology, gave the scientists a new perspective. The solution required more than just Amber's DNA. It needed her active participation in creating a genetic bridge between their species, something no machine could accomplish. Queen Zalia approached Amber with the news the human had become essential to their survival in ways they never anticipated. Amber, the Queen, said, her voice filled with emotion, our future now depends entirely on you. This is a greater commitment than we initially asked for. You would need to stay with us for many cycles of your Earth's moon. Amber thought of her simple life on Earth, her empty apartment, her job at the hospital. She had few close friends. Her parents had passed years ago. Nothing truly anchored her there. Yet what the aliens asked was enormous: to leave her planet, her species, to help save beings she had only known for a short time. Thela interrupted the Queen's proposal. My Queen, we cannot force this human to sacrifice her life for us. It violates our most sacred principles. The Queen turned to her scientist with wisdom in her ancient eyes. We will not force anything. Amber will choose freely, as she has done since she arrived. The first time Amber saw the alien ship, she almost ran away. But something in her mind told her to stay and wait. The massive vessel hovered silently above the empty field, casting strange purple shadows on the grass below. Amber was just an ordinary nurse from a small town, working night shifts and living alone with her cat. She never expected to be chosen by beings from another world. The light appeared, suddenly engulfing her completely. Amber felt her body become weightless as she floated upward into the unknown. She wanted to scream, but no sound came from her mouth. When she opened her eyes, Amber found herself in a vast chamber with walls that seemed to pulse with life. The air smelled like cinnamon and electricity. Alien symbols glowed on curved panels nearby. She was not alone. Tall, elegant figures moved around her with graceful movements. Their skin shimmered with a blue glow in the dim light. They had humanoid features, but their eyes were larger, completely black, and without pupils. Their fingers were long with an extra joint, their bodies lean and strong. The tallest one approached Amber slowly, her movements fluid like water. her head adorned with what looked like a crown made of living crystal. This was clearly their leader. Their Queen Zalia studied the human female with intense curiosity. Her species had watched Earth for centuries, collecting data, learning languages and customs. Humans fascinated the Lithurians, especially their unpredictable nature and emotional depth. Amber could feel her heart pounding in her chest. But strangely, she was not afraid anymore. Instead, she felt drawn to these beings, especially to their queen. Xalia spoke, her voice melodic and rich with unusual tones. This human is different from the others. I sense extraordinary adaptability and compassion within her. The other aliens murmured among themselves, some casting doubtful glances at Amber, while others seemed intrigued by their queen's interest in this simple human woman. Amber finally found her voice. "Why am I here? What do you want from me?" The alien queen moved closer, her scent reminiscent of ocean storms and wild honey. Her long fingers gently touched Amber's face, sending a strange, tingling sensation through her skin. Xalia smiled, revealing teeth that looked like opals. "We need you, Amber. Our civilization faces extinction. Our genetic structure is failing. We cannot reproduce anymore. Our scientists believe human DNA, specifically yours, contains something unique that could save us." Amber was stunned, trying to process this information. "You traveled across space to find me. But why me?" "Our scanners detected a rare genetic anomaly in you. Something that appeared in your bloodline generations ago but manifested fully only in you." The Queen explained, "You carry ancient Lithurian markers in your DNA from when our ancestors visited Earth thousands of years ago." Another alien stepped forward, this one wearing what appeared to be a scientific uniform. Her name was Thala, the chief scientist. She appeared more skeptical of Amber. Thala spoke directly to the Queen. "My Queen, we cannot be certain this human will cooperate. They are known to be unpredictable and driven by self-preservation." The Queen turned to Thala with a firm gaze. "I have made my decision. This human will help us." I can sense her compassion. Amber felt overwhelmed by everything happening around her. The fate of an entire alien species might depend on her. Yet these beings had taken her without permission. "What exactly would I need to do?" Amber asked, trying to keep her voice steady. The Queen gestured toward a chamber at the far end of the room. "We need samples of your DNA, blood tissue, cellular material. Our process is painless, but it requires your willing participation. Forced extraction would damage the very elements we need." Amber considered her options. She could refuse demand to be returned to Earth, but looking into the desperate eyes of these beings, she felt their pain, their fear of extinction, pulled at her heart. Amber looked between the two alien women, seeing the hope in one and the reluctance in the other. Both cared about their people's future, but approached it differently. Queen Xalia stood tall and regal as she made her final plea. "Human only you are, allowed to touch me, to bridge our genetic code to save my people, but I will not command it. I ask it." In that moment, Amber understood the true meaning of being chosen, not just for her DNA, but for her humanity, her capacity to choose to help others. Even an alien species from across the stars, Amber stepped forward and took the Queen's hand. Feeling the strange texture of her skin, the unusual warmth, "I will help you save your people." The Queen's black eyes seemed to shimmer with emotion. "Thank you, Amber of Earth. From this day forward, you are Lithurian in spirit, if not in form." As the aliens celebrated around them, Amber felt something shift within her, as if a new chapter was beginning, one that would bind two species together through compassion, understanding, and hope. Thala finally approached Amber with newfound respect. "Perhaps there is more to humans than our studies revealed. You have shown us something important. Courage has many forms. The journey ahead would be challenging, filled with unknown procedures and possible dangers, but Amber had made her choice. She would help save the Lithurians. She would become the bridge between worlds, the chosen human who answered when the stars called her name." As the Earth disappeared from view, through the living glass window, Amber wondered if she would ever see her home planet again. The ship accelerated faster than light, heading toward the Lithurian homeworld. Queen Xalia visited Amber every day, teaching her the language and customs of her people. Their history spanned millions of years, far longer than human civilization. They had once been explorers and settlers of many worlds before their genetic decline began. Amber was surprised to learn that Lithurians had visited Earth many times throughout human history, sometimes helping guide human development subtly, always watching with interest as the young species evolved. Some humans carried traces of Lithurian DNA from ancient encounters long forgotten by Earth history, but preserved in Lithurian records. Amber's bloodline was special. Because the genetic markers had remained unusually strong through generations, the Lithurian homeworld was called Illuvia, a planet orbiting a binary star system with 3 moons and vast oceans of liquid crystal. It was beautiful beyond anything Amber had imagined, with floating cities and forests of bioluminescent plants. When they arrived, Amber was welcomed as an honored guest. Her quarters in the royal palace were prepared, with special care to accommodate her human needs. The genetic work began immediately in the most advanced laboratory on Illuvia. Amber spent hours each day with scientists who studied her cells, her blood, her DNA, with tools that seemed magical compared to Earth technology. Queen Zalia explained that the procedure would involve creating hybrid embryos, using Amber's genetic material combined with Lithurian DNA. The resulting children would be a new species, a bridge between humans and Lithurians. The implications were enormous, the first true alien-human hybrids in the universe. Amber would become the mother of a new species. Some members of the Lithurian Council objected, arguing that such genetic mixing was unprecedented, dangerous, even sacrilegious. They feared the unknown consequences of such radical intervention. Thala surprisingly became Amber's strongest supporter among the scientists, arguing that the extinction of their species justified bold measures. The evidence from Amber's genetic compatibility was undeniable. Queen Zalia called for a final vote among the council. Amber was invited to attend. The grand meeting hall was filled with hundreds of Lithurians, all curious to see the human who might save their species. The queen addressed her people with dignity and hope. We stand at a crossroads facing extinction or evolution. The human Amber offers us a path forward, a new beginning for our kind. Her genetic material combined with ours could create children who carry the best of both species. A council member named Vestra rose in opposition. My queen, we have always kept ourselves separate from other species. Our genetic purity has been our strength for millions of years. Are we to abandon that now? Out of desperation, Amber listened as the debate continued. Passionate arguments on both sides. She understood their fears. Change was always frightening, especially when it meant becoming something new, something different. When the queen invited her to speak, Amber felt the weight of responsibility upon her shoulders. She stood before the alien council, uncertain what to say, but knowing she must speak from her heart. I come from a planet where different races and cultures have mixed throughout history. Amber began sometimes with conflict, but often creating beauty and strength through diversity. Change can be frightening, but it can also bring renewal. She continued, humans are adaptable. We survive through change, through evolution. I believe the same could be true for Lithurians. The children we create together would not be the end of your species, but its transformation, its rebirth. The council chamber fell silent as her words echoed. Then Queen Zalia spoke again. The vote will now begin, each council member placing their crystal into either the vessel of acceptance or refusal. One by one, the council members approached, placing their crystals into the ceremonial vessels. The process took hours as hundreds cast their votes. Amber stood beside the queen, watching with nervous anticipation when the final count was revealed. The decision was made by the narrowest margin. The plan would proceed. Amber would help create the first human Lithurian hybrids. The work began immediately, with Amber undergoing daily procedures to harvest her eggs. The genetic modification process was complex, requiring the most skilled scientists on Illuvia. Queen Zalia was present for every procedure, offering comfort and encouragement to Amber. The bond between them grew stronger with each passing day. 3 months later, the first viable embryos were created, tiny beings with both human and Lithurian characteristics. They developed rapidly in special incubation chambers, monitored constantly by Thala, and her team. Amber was allowed to see them through viewing screens, their tiny forms glowing with bioluminescence, a trait from their Lithurian heritage. Yet their bodies showed recognizably human features as well. The first children were born 6 months after Amber's arrival on Illuvia. They emerged from their incubation chambers healthy and strong with skin that shimmered faintly blue under certain light. Their eyes were large but not entirely black, showing hints of human iris colors. Queen Zalia named the firstborn child Ambalia, a combination of amber and Zalia signifying the union of their peoples. The name would become legendary in future generations. As the hybrid children grew, they showed remarkable abilities. Intelligence beyond human norms, physical capabilities exceeding both parent species, and most surprising empathic abilities that allowed them to sense the emotions of others. The success of the program led to more embryos being created with variations in the genetic balance. The Lithurian population watched with fascination. As the new generation developed, Amber became known as the mother of new Lithurians. Her status among the alien society elevated to nearly royal. She was no longer just a visitor, but an essential part of their world, their future. Queen Zalia proposed a formal alliance between Earth and Illuvia, revealing themselves to humanity, sharing technology and knowledge, but this required careful planning. Humans were not yet aware of the Lithurians' existence. Together, Amber and Queen Zalia developed a plan for first contact, selecting a small team of humans who would be receptive to meeting an alien species. Amber would serve as ambassador, helping bridge understanding between the worlds. As the hybrid children reached their first year, they began showing signs of telepathic abilities, connecting with each other and with Amber in ways that surprised even the Lithurian scientists. Thela theorized that the combination of Lithurian brain structure with human neural plasticity had created unexpected synaptic configurations. The evolutionary implications were profound. Queen Zalia spent much time with the children, especially Ambalia, who showed the strongest connection to both her human and Lithurian heritage. The queen seemed to regard the child as her own daughter. Amber noticed changes in herself as well. After months on Illuvia, her body had begun adapting to the alien environment, her senses becoming more acute, her mind more connected to those around her, particularly to Queen Zalia. The scientists confirmed that exposure to Illuvia's atmosphere and the close genetic work had triggered subtle mutations in Amber's cells, nothing dangerous but significant. Nonetheless, she was becoming something other than purely human. The day came for the first diplomatic mission to Earth. A small Lithurian vessel was prepared with Amber, Queen Zalia, and 3 of the hybrid children, including Ambalia, on board. They would meet with selected human representatives in a remote location. Before departure, Amber stood with the Queen overlooking the crystal seas of Illuvia, thinking about the journey ahead, the challenges of bringing 2 vastly different worlds together. Queen Zalia took Amber's hand, her touch now familiar and comforting. "You have given us more than survival. Amber, you have given us renewal, hope for a future we could not have imagined." Amber smiled, feeling the connection between them, a bond that transcended species' biological differences, even space itself. "We have changed each other," she replied. "And perhaps that is the greatest gift of all." As their ship approached Earth, Amber felt both excitement and apprehension. Would her fellow humans accept these visitors and the hybrid children? Would they understand the importance of this moment in human history? Queen Zalia sensed her concern standing beside her as the blue planet grew larger. "In the viewing portal, no matter what happens," she said softly, "we face it together as one people." Amber nodded, watching as Earth, her first home, came into view, while Ambalia, the child of 2 worlds, stood between them, reaching for both their hands. The ship descended toward the meeting point where representatives from Earth waited, unaware that they were about to witness not just first contact, but the beginning of a new chapter in the evolution of both species. This was only the beginning. Amber knew, looking at the Queen and the children beside her, the stars had called and humanity had answered together. They would write the next chapter of their shared destiny.